Hello, the game has started and it's my opponent to go first. I have a Val heavy rack and opponent plays Korai, scores well. Just looking at potential plays from the K. Don't have any like words. Wow, pretty undesirable position to be in. Lairage, just to clear out the rack. It's a little bit better. I have the ISO prefix, visitor, lairages, so hopefully that remains available. It does actually, and my opponent's play of peg has enhanced the score. Visitor. Okay, not a bad pickup. Thebe is good, but is there a 7? Behint? No. Looking, opponent scores well with dwarfs. Now I've got wine. I'd like to get rid of the B as well, but I'm not seeing a way to get rid of the B. So is wine better or is white better? 4 T's to come. Yeah, wine definitely best. 45. Not a bad rack, apart from the B. It's a little bit restrictive in terms of bingo prospects. I have the ing ending here. Orbiting, if the E were an I. Opponents played Tay. Not seeing a bingo through the N. What about the L? Trilobe, but not triglobe. So I'd like to get rid of G and B. I can do that here with gob. Pretty strong rack leave. But am I missing a bingo? Maybe through this A. Not seeing it. Gob for 19. That's a bit better. The floaters in wine have been blocked. Now, is there a 7 here? I have the inter prefix. There's got to be something here through the L or the A. Retained, of course. But what about the L? Okay, retained has been blocked. The E can be used, but in a very specific position. Trendier onto an R. No R available. What about BE? No. And yeah, just not seeing a bingo here. Maybe this I. Wow, okay, so the bingo's blocked. Don and nothing. Gid, den. Don't like that. What about Tade? Tade. I don't think Tade is good. What about trained? Or detrain? Detainer. Oh, detain. That's 22. That's 22. What about rained or trained? 29. I'll go with this. Not a bad pickup. Almost 4 QL. But no, not to be. Is there the potential for a bingo here? Now, phone is good. Abed, no A available. I'd be happy enough to get rid of FEU, but I think there's still the potential for a bingo here. Git takes an E and Oi takes an E, so there are some bingo potential spots. nice parallel play by opponent. So what about FEU? Wow, this would be pretty volatile because Tor takes a T. There's only one T to come, but it takes an S as well. I don't need to introduce that level of volatility. So what about Fey? How many U's? Ooh, 3 U's to come. There's no way I'm keeping that U on my rack. I'll be getting rid of it come hell or high water. So tough. What about tough and toy? Oh, tough and toy. Rack leaves not great. FEU. Well, maybe just fuel. It's a pretty weak score, and I know it creates an X play, but I have a strong chance of bingoing. Next turn. That's more like it. Enticed and tad, or entices. Wow, Lynn. Front hooks for Lynn. Not sure about that one. Oh. Now, what about, I can play genetic here. At least that it'll score less, but it won't leave a hot spot there for opponent. What about something ending in I? Very unlikely. Anything I play here can be extended, I think. So genetic is safer. Does take out a bingo lane. Yeah, I think I'll go with this genetic. Front hooks for Lynn. Am I missing a big? No. Genetic. Okay. I've drawn the J and I have the B, M and P as well for score. No J play extending from TA. Opponents played Naif. Blin. I wonder, does Lin take a B? I'm not sure, but if it does, Jambo would be quite nice. Yeah, it does take the B. I thought it looked familiar. Not a bad rack. I've got some balance with vowels and consonants. And I have O void on the rack, but that doesn't play anywhere that I've seen. I've got I was going to say optic, but I don't have the C. Nice bingo by opponent. top is good, but that's where the story ends. So maybe just a play of dop gets rid of one of those O's and takes out a hotspot. So dop for 22. I've drawn the Z, which is always a welcome sight. The rest of the rack pretty unsynergetic, if that's a thing. But we've got Vim and there's still the potential to bingo onto the D there. Zit, that's not a bad score. Zoic. I do like Zit for 36. The Z doesn't really help opponent for bingos. And that's 36 is a decent score as well. Is that best though? I think Ms is a little bit better. For 49, I'll go with this. Not great. The V and the U with the duplicate O's, but I do have a good lead at the moment, and opponent's unlikely to bingo, although some strong scoring potential with the Q and the U and the X and Y. Sequel, for example. Don't know where that plays, but Exequy. EXEQUY. Don't know if it takes an S. Exequy is a very strange word. Wow, okay, opponent scored well with the X, 50 points. He's only 45 behind, so he could potentially score well with the Q. I've got to look to go out in 2. Viroid, no. Ovoid. Does this help opponent? Oh, and turtle, yeah. I think this is the go. Ovoid, that doesn't seem to help opponent much. Now, lure. I've got Furl from the F, and I've got Turl, and I've got Lour. So I'm definitely going out. Lour through this O would score more, but that's 8. Yeah, Lour seems best at this point, unless opponent provides a better score. Keys for 25, and then I think Lour would be best for 8. And that's the end of the game, 436 to 386. Thank my opponent. Let's see what we missed. Pretty close at the end there. So, Korai was opponent's opening play. I had Glake. I did have a play on to the K, but 3 vowels. That would have been best. I went with Lairage just to clear out 4 vowels. And opponent's now got... Oh, well, he's got a 4-timer there. 40-point play. That's not bad. But Dag also pretty strong rack leave. Opponent goes with Peg. Gives me Visitor for 86. Ivorist also good. But this was the best placement for the bingo. Opponent's got a few 30-point plays. Goes with Dwarfs for 36. Thebane. Yes, that is a word I do know, but I failed to spot it through the A. There are a few 8-letter words ending in A-I-N-E. Thebane being one of them, Stovane, S-T-O-V, and Ibogan, I-B-O-G. There are quite a few, but Thebane I often overlook because it's a strange pattern to see the B in the middle of the word like that. But wine was second best, so that's okay. Tay for 27 comes down, and then this rack, I thought there might be a bingo, there wasn't. Globia, quite nice, as a 4-timer. Shame to have missed that. Bedwarfs to extend onto dwarf, but I just went with Gob, which it had some merit because it closed down 3 useful floaters, and I was a bingo ahead at that stage, so it was worth doing. Now opponent close to a bingo, but none available, and I was pretty close here as well. I had retained and detainer through the A, but opponent blocked that. Relented for 36. Wow, that would have been nice. A 4-timer through 2 disconnected floaters. I went with trained, and then opponent's got a few average scores. The board tightening up now. Wow. Now, look at that. Probably French. Fuilette. That is, wow. 9-letter play through 2 disconnected floaters. Congratulations if you spotted that one. I've never seen the word before, and it doesn't resemble a word that I do know. It looks French. Anyway, I went with fuel, and that balanced the rack up nicely. Opponent's got some average scores in the teens. Goes with Lynn. Now necktie at N8. Yeah, now these plays, although they score well, give back big scores to opponent, and there's a whole bunch of floaters that follow TAN, or I should say hooks, a whole bunch of hooks you can add to TAN. So I don't like necktie, and I did look at enticer, same concept. I just didn't want to create a very volatile, high-scoring spot for my opponent. So I thought genetic had some merit on the left there. Didn't give much back to opponent. Now Naif for 32, Naifer for 38. Opponent went with Naif and A genetic. It was quite a nice play, that. But that, yeah, Jambo was... Once I spotted that, I just whacked it down without any hesitation. 66 points. And now opponent's very close to a bingo, and in fact does bingo with Euryters for 73. Now, that's a lot safer because he managed to overlap both the spots above and below the R. So, yeah, that wasn't going to be very dangerous. Loop for 30. Where was that? M2. Loop, Vor, and Pyre. That's a decent score, 30 points, leaving 7 in the bag. Ovoidal for 25 through the A. Parallel to Korai. That's quite nice, but it's actually too volatile. I don't like that, especially with those heavyweights to come. And I think I just went with DOP, yeah, because I did see a potential Z play here as well. So I thought I'd take that out. And also a potential Z play in column O. So opponent now has a 46-point play, and he's now just 46 behind. So, and there was some heavyweights to come, but wow, Lutz for 69. How did I miss that? That was unforgivable. A word I'm very familiar with. Yeah, that's a real shame. That would have secured the win. Miz just made it a little bit harder for opponent to catch me, but Lutz would have put me out of reach, I think. And now opponent's got Lax for 50. That was the highest score. And then I've got Vitro through the T. Yes, Vitro would have been nice. But LOU, yeah, I suppose I would have gone out with Foul or LOU. What else would I have done with V? Maybe I wouldn't have gone out with... Loud, yeah, Loud or Foul. So Vitro's a guaranteed out in 2. Yeah, that would have been the play. So a little bit suboptimal there. But now Keys for 25 was best. And then Lauer for 8 was best. So that was the end of the game. 1 or 2 small misses there, but yeah, pretty good. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.